Command Center Postgame Live is brought to you by Nissan. You deserve a car that thrills you, and Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Welcome into Command Center Postgame Live, brought to you by Nissan. Your final score, 25-24. We lose in the final seconds of this game to the Chicago Bears. It's funny, I think we all were standing here waiting for a little bit of magic, but it didn't happen just yet. Brian Corbett Jr. here with some amazing guys. Super Bowl champion and Hall of Famer Brian Mitchell and Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss. Fellas, these are never fun after a loss, especially a heartbreaking one like that, where, again, we were hoping for a little bit of that magic that we saw last year. Weren't able to get it done. B, how you feeling?
Well, I'm not feeling good about this game because you look at the game, we should have won it. We began to go down. We start stopping them. We get a lead. We turn the ball over. We cannot have that. You know, we talk about turnover battles in every game. You lose the turnover battle, you lose the football game. And the ultimate thing is this. Listen, the earlier pass, I know Jayden wanted to get that back. It was a little flat. If he gets it up a little bit, maybe it's a touchdown. But you look at the things, we should have had 13, 14 more points at least on them. Listen, this team is one of the better football team out there, but you can't turn the ball over. And when you turn the ball over, you're going to lose football games. You have to learn that. You got to be disciplined throughout a football game. If you're not, you got to be upset.
This 2 years in a row when I feel like, you know, we actually outplayed them. But for the simple fact, when you look at the stat sheet, this particular game, they outrushed us, they outpassed us, and then they won a turnover battle. When you're not winning in no category and you lose in the ultimate category when it comes down to turnovers, you can't expect to win. And we was actually going into for the victory with leading by 2 points. So to see yourself leading this game after having already 2 fumbles or 2 turnovers, normally you're not in the game. And so I'm not even mad, bro. I promise you I'm not even mad because I understand the way this game goes. You're going to have this is a learning moment for this team. You're too good to have those kind of miscues and expect to win. Nobody's going to lay down for you. Everybody's going to rise when it comes down to you. So you have to go out there and put people away.
But you can't beat yourself. I mean, that's the ultimate thing. We look at this game today. We don't turn the ball over, we beat them. We beat ourselves. We have the lead. We're going down to score, and we give them the ball back. And the thing about it, listen, our offense is ahead of our defense. We can't keep putting the defense out there expecting them to have heroics because the rules are too one-sided in the NFL to expect the defense to go out there and completely shut down an offense. So when we get the ball as an offense, we got to get first downs. We got to stay ahead of the chains. We got to get 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards. The stuff we try to do sometimes, it doesn't work. But ultimately, we beat ourselves. Listen, I know the Bears fans are happy, but damn it, we beat ourselves. Y'all didn't beat us. And we got to understand that. We cannot keep allowing ourselves to go out there and beat ourselves.
And Tanner Beamish said it perfectly when he was saying earlier about the better team won. I look at this game, and it's hard to look at 3 turnovers, only losing by 2, and say that they were a better team than us. Like Beamish said, it felt as if the things we did wrong, not the things the Bears did right. Do you feel that way, Tanner?
I mean, you got to give them credit. They went out there and played the game. You know, they went on the road after a bye, after having, you know, that's what the last time they played was 2 weeks ago, after having a bye, and basically outplayed us in certain, you can say, you know. I feel like any time you have a team that's coming in after what we went through last year with them, you know they was going to be riding high. You know it's going to be motivated. Ben Johnson, motivated from seeing us last time he saw us in the NFC Championship game. Motivated. They had so many different storylines that people was trying to put out there to say this is why they're motivated to come out here and play. And for you to be the home team, regardless of the weather conditions, you have to protect your field. And I just feel like we didn't protect our field.
And that's the thing, too. I think it's easy to make those excuses about the weather with the fumbles, with the interception. But that's not that's not how we give it up.
This weather right here,
it's football weather.
No damn reason we have no fumbles. I mean, it was misty. It was not raining. It was not a torrential downpour. Guys got to listen. Bill will learn. You spin in that traffic, put 2 hands on the ball. You can't go around with one hand.
Yeah.
Later on, Jayden, as I said earlier, Jayden knows a little more arc on that ball, touchdown.
Yep.
Okay? But he didn't even see the guy, but if he put a little more arc, he don't have to worry about that guy. Late in the game, it's a handoff thing. That's something you do every day, and I think people got to understand. In this game of football, you do something so much, you don't think about it. You don't think it's supposed to be something you got to care about. But you have to, just like a return guy. When you fair catch, nobody can hit you. But that's when guys have most of their fumbles, most of their muffs, because they relax. In a football game of this magnitude, down the stretch, the one thing you cannot do is relax.
Yeah.
You got to keep that pressure on yourself. Learn how to do that and understand. This game ain't over till it's over. You know, when we got the ball, yes, we felt comfortable about it, but you still got to go down there and make plays.
Yet another game that goes down to the final seconds. However, it did not go our way. The final score, 25-24. We are awaiting the head coach, Dan Quinn's presser. I will interrupt these guys if I need to so we can take that pressure. So you don't mean it's a second of that. But while we wait, Tanner, you have been in these locker rooms before. After a game, after an outing that maybe wasn't up to standard, the standard that y'all set at practice. What's that message to these guys right now after 3 turnovers, a rough game, a tight game at that, but a rough game?
I heard so many of them.
I mean to get you back to
I don't know which
trauma.
one to give you right now. But I would just honestly say, man, look here, man, fellas. This football. Yeah. We understand what we went out there and did, and we understand what we didn't do. Let's go home, put this behind us as fast as we can, because nobody's going to feel sorry for us. It's no pity party. Yeah. We got to go see the Cowboys next week. Point blank and period.
After you seriously sit there and break down that film and realize the mistakes you made, then you have the chance to say, but you got to be honest with yourself. You got to take accountability for the things you did wrong. The guys that made the mistakes, take accountability. Then you can say, we should have beat them. But you have to be truthful to yourself. Look in the mirror and say, this was not my best performance. And move forward. You can't sit up here and say, oh, man, we had just like, no. You got to first be truthful to you. Then you can move forward.
And B-Mitch, that's something that's easier said than done, right? Especially for young guys like a guy like Bill, who's never been in this situation before. As that veteran that's been in there, that helped guys out. Ricky Irvis talked about how much you were able to help him out. What is the message to a guy like Bill? You're coming off of the career game. Then you have a game like this where you're probably not feeling like your best self. What's that message to him?
Well, the thing is, look, man, don't stop. Keep moving. Listen, you tell him how he can help himself. Like I said earlier, when you're in that area right there and you're spinning, put another hand on the ball. Yeah. He tried to do it with one hand. The guy hit the ball. That's all. It's not nothing that he doesn't know. He knows those things. You come in, you tell him that, and you say, look, bro, we believe it in you. Then you start going and say, let's watch film. And then you sit there with him and you let him understand. Look, right here, bring the hand. Yeah. Ball, you might get tackled, but you don't lose the ball. Yeah. You know, the ultimate thing is keep making them think you believe in it. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. Bill is a damn good running back. Yeah. He's going to be exceptional for us moving forward. And he has to understand, you have those moments in your career. This right here will show us more about him than him having those great games. When you falter, you come back and you show people what you're about. When you have good games, it's easy. Everybody love you. They're praising you. When you have bad games, everybody turn their back on you. I'm not turning my back on him. I just want him to understand little moments. Get that into you. Think about it so much to where it becomes second nature. Where you go to spin, it naturally comes with it.
17 carries, 61 yards for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, our boy Bill. Tanner, we talked about it a little bit watching that game. We talked about it pregame as well. We knew the method to success for the Chicago Bears. Yeah. It was to stop the run. Tanner, for what you saw out there, how did they accomplish that? And how do we keep that from happening when we play again against the Cowboys?
Well, I think, they came in with their whole arsenal. That was the whole thing that we heard all week long, is that they was dead last in stopping the run. So we knew that they was going to make sure that they proved the world that, look, if anything, we're not going to lose this way. And I think they showed us some different, looks, especially late in the game, where at times they had 8 in the box. And we tried to run. And then the next play, immediately, they knew we was going to switch and try to do something else. Then they played coverage. So you got to play cat and mouse with them, Maybe they stop you that one time, and then you go back to it because they're going to change it. Show them something different, and then still stay with the run. That's how it is sometime in this league, man. But I feel like they was beating us to the punch instead of us beating them to the punch.
Yeah, for sure. And B, well, on the other side of the ball, right, you're looking at DeAndre Swift. We talked about him. He has been struggling a little bit this season. We know he had this game set. He's a former Philadelphia Eagle. He loves playing the Washington Commanders, led them in receiving yards, led them in rushing yards. How do we stop guys like DeAndre Swift, the Saquon Barkley, these guys that come in here and think they can run up and down the field but also catch the balls? Well, how do we stop that?
Like I said earlier, and they've done a better job from about 3 weeks ago when we talked about it. There are a lot of times we had guys in our grasp and we didn't take them to the ground.
Yeah.
We got to make tackles. We can't allow guys to break tackles. Yes, it's the NFL. They break tackles, but we should know how to make tackles, okay? DeAndre Swift last year got us last year. He got us again this year. We have to find a way to when we are there to make the play, make the play. You don't have to make a big hit. Just get the man to the ground. That's all that matters. But the ultimate thing I will keep saying, we did so many things that gave them a chance to win this game. We were still there at the end. But when you got the ball with 5 minutes in the game, you cannot make a turnover. There are situations in games where it's when you make that turnover. You make it early, okay, you can bounce back. You make it late like this, you may not get a chance like we didn't.
Commanders family, we are out here at Northwest Stadium. Didn't go the way we wanted. However, we are awaiting head coach Dan Quinn to get to the podium. The final score, 25-24 here at Northwest Stadium. We're going to take a quick break. But again, when we come back, we will be hearing from head coach Dan Quinn. You're listening to Command Center Postgame Live, brought to you by Nissan. We'll be right back.
Trust brings us together as families, friends, and neighbors. At Northwest Federal Credit Union, we know your financial decisions are more than just signing on a dotted line. You're putting your trust on the line, and as life unfolds, we'll be here for every step of your journey. At Northwest, we work to earn your trust every day, because this is our community too. Become a member today. Northwest Federal Credit Union, where trust matters.
Driving the Nissan Kicks with intelligent all-wheel drive is like the best seat in the house. See why it's been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy 4 years in a row. Drive the reimagined Nissan Kicks today. Now get up to $1,500 total bonus cash on the 2025 Nissan Kicks, starting at just $21,830.
You're watching Command Center Postgame Live from Northwest Stadium.
Stay down too long.
Welcome back into Command Center Postgame Live, brought to you by Nissan. Now it's time for your Toast of the Town, brought to you by La Chemin de Ras, Champagne and Branch and Cognac, the official champagne and cognac of the Washington Commanders. And fellas, this Toast of the Town is no other than Luke McCaffrey. 4 returns, 127 yards, but it was that 33-yard touchdown. We talked about him doing a lot with a little. All he needed was one catch, and this one catch was a 33-yard touchdown, fellas. Look at Luke right there, breaking away, wide open. B, what goes right on the play like that?
And he does that a lot. But lately he's been doing that. And also, look at another one. The two young receivers in Luke and also Jalen Lane, those guys are starting to make plays.
Yeah.
And I just say, look, I'm having this hope for Terry coming back, start doing his thing, Debo doing his thing, and those two young guys making those steps. Zach Ertz still doing his thing. Things can happen good for us. But we have to understand, it doesn't just happen. We got to put the damn work in, point blank. We put the work in. We don't go out there and help a team. Don't help a team beat you.
Yeah.
We help those fools out here beat us. Bears fans, be happy But y'all ain't going to be there in the end, believe me.
And Tanner, man, I know you got to be happy to see the young guys get that because Jalen Lane, game-changing play. Luke McCaffrey, a game-changing play. Yes, they're not getting 5-6 catches. However, they are ready for their moment. And you know better than anybody else, you have to be ready for these moments.
Yeah, you have to be ready. And I think these guys get ample enough time to go out there and prepare for these situations. You know, they've been knowing for a while now that Terry's not suiting up this week. You know, they've been knowing for a while that Noah's not suiting up. And so, you know, at times when you're watching the game, you almost look at us and be like, man, we depleted. But, oh, no, we have those guys, so use them. You know what I mean? If you out there, like I say, when you have a uniform on in this league, you don't come way too far for me not to use you. I'm going to throw a ball at you. So you had to come down with the play. So I'm happy that they're making you do with those opportunities. You know what I mean? You want to see these guys excel. You want to see these guys flourish and show the coaching staff that, hey, you can count on me.
The way I look at it, Luke and Jalen, they're professional athletes, right? They got drafted by some coaches and some front office people because they believe they can make plays. It don't make a difference how old you are. When I made my first touchdown, you think somebody cared how old I was? You know what I did? After that first one, I wanted to make another one. And you begin to work at it. Nobody cares if you're in your 10th year, first year, 15th. You got to ball out.
And B-Mitch, that is perfect timing because right now we have the head coach, Dan Quinn, at the podium.
First thing I thought, don't like it as the start. You know, we've continued that slow start, and we've become way too accustomed of digging ourselves out of holes. 2 early turnovers, 1 late. All 3 phases dug the hole, and all 3 phases helped get out. But we didn't create enough takeaways to finish -3. You really don't deserve to win many games when you're, in that space. So had chances for interceptions, had chances to get some, did not create any. Honestly, just didn't perform well enough. Run game, both sides. So a lot that needs our attention, and get right back to it as we, get going right against the division opponent next week. But this one stings. You have a chance even to dig yourself out and go battle for it and not get that job done. But like I said, you got to create them also to finish in the plus. So I'm gonna get started.
So close, you had the ball in your possession, and kind of uncharacteristic for your quarterback to lose the ball. What do you tell him after a game like this?
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't just that play. There's plenty in there to go, and we just didn't regard it like we can, and so that's the lesson, and it stings, and we've got to grow from them, man. Like we just, have to make sure we're taking our spaces to go. Definitely a play he'd want back. Man, he's like, incredible player who makes plays, and so it sucks. But like in his space, like he's gonna make way more than he isn't. But tonight, that one stings.
Dan, I know you haven't looked at the film yet, but was that a bad exchange? Were Bill's hands not in the right place? I mean, or was that more?
I think when I go back to watch, and I'll have a better answer for you tomorrow. I think it was Jayden on the keep. So that's what he told me coming off. That's like him to take responsibility, even if it wasn't. So I'll have a better answer, but that's what my viewpoint. But I haven't seen it yet, Dave. But that was my viewpoint of it.
Defensively, besides the lack of turnovers, there was again tackling issues, and I know it was a wet field, but it was a wet field for them too.
Yeah.
So just wondering what you saw out there.
Yeah, and going in, I thought, could we play, better on third down and have some space? I thought we did that one, but just in the run game wasn't strong enough, in my opinion. And on the long one, obviously missed a tackle on the blitz, so that one stings. But again, I just didn't think we played well enough in any of the phases. Dug ourselves out of a hole, dug ourselves into it first, but we got a lot to clean up. Give them credit too. I thought they came in and made the plays, but you don't usually even have a chance to win at some of those at -3.
Dan, sorry if you addressed this in your opening comments, but the Swift play, what did you kind of see there? Was it looked like maybe just Quinn could have just bumped him out of bounds, but maybe that's easier said than done?
Yeah, just honestly, you had a man-to-man as blitz, and so we know he's elusive, good player, and so use the sideline to try to get it. And so, yeah, it's unfortunate one. He's somebody we absolutely count on that spot, and also give credit to Swift. But yeah, just one-on-one matchup, and one that we would count on him plenty of times to do that.
Obviously, if you could put your finger on it, you would solve it. But the big plays, obviously it's been an issue defensively the last few weeks. Is there something that seems to be a constant within that, in giving up those plays?
On that specific one?
In general, the numerous, a lot of other plays, big chunk plays, that keep it up defensively.
On specific on that one, it was a blitz, and so he had a man-to-man. But that was the negative of it, I guess, when you're all risk on it, but we also expect him to make that too. Like Quann's an excellent player, and he wants that one back. There's no doubt.
What is the level of concern with the defense? They've big plays each game. What is that level of concern moving forward?
Yeah, I just wanted to be more physical, honestly, tonight. In the run game, I didn't love how that looked. I thought we had a chance to get up on top, for an interception, but the run game wasn't up to the standard of the team, in my opinion, John.
Wasn't it more physical, do you think?
Yeah, I'd have to look at it and give you an answer on that tomorrow. Just look down overall to extend some drives to go. That's a big deal to me.
Kind of in a similar vein with the slow starts, you've had some kind of on the road. How concerning is it to have one at home? And I know we've asked you this before, but what can you do to kind of address that?
Yeah, it was on the road, and we did, continue with that when I talked about it previously. Going into it on the field goals, that's not the worst thing, but to have a turnover and get knocked out that way, I think that caused us to give up some points. So quite honestly, I think just the ball and the turnover margin, that's a big deal for us. We've got to create them to get into the plus, and so for us to two of them in the first half and one there at the end, that's not the recipe we're gonna want.
Dan, in terms of not getting ahead of the game, getting out in front, does it also feel like you're not getting ahead of the season? Last year, you kind of raced out to a big start. You're 3-3, kind of middling at 6 games in. Yeah, I don't think that far down the line. Honestly, just want to play better, and we'll continue to dig in to do that. And so, there's definitely things that I'm going to like about it. Continue to see Luke on kickoff return. There's spaces to go. So. For me, it's about just us getting better, and we'll dig in hard as hell to do that. We've got lots of spaces to do it, but I just don't think too far down the line, just kind of like right into the space we're in right now.
Dan, you mentioned the run game wasn't working as well.
Both sides, yeah.
Yep. What did you take away from that? What did you think was missing there?
Yeah, I'll have a better answer for that tomorrow, Nikki, when we go through it, specifically to why. We didn't get the big explosive run, that we normally get. Obviously, when you turn it over, you don't get as many cracks at it either. But I'll have a better answer as I go through it. Just I thought we'd have some more shots to move them in the run game.
And just with Ja'Cory, at least one fumble in each of the last two. Just
yep.
What do you say to him in those situations? And just being young, do you have to worry about his confidence or anything like that?
Not the confidence. Most of the time, I just want to get what was the cause? What's the lesson that you learn? Are you fighting for extra? Was it high and tight? If somebody makes a fantastic play on you, I'll give them credit. But if there's a space where it wasn't secure enough that you clamp it into the traffic, those are the lessons, Nikki, that we got to get right. He's a hell of a competitor. He takes it hard. So it's not the confidence side, but I want to make sure if there's a technique error that we can see it. It didn't feel like there was a huge punch that took place, but I'll dig in for sure and find it.
Dan, you talk about winning time moments frequently, and you guys coach those. Not just the fumble, but kind of the totality towards the end there. How surprised were you by the lack of execution? Yeah,
I was surprised. It's an area that we obviously spend a lot of time on, a lot of space, and we'll continue to do that. But for us to come out the other end of it, you just not getting and creating takeaways. I think honestly that's a big part of it too, man. The end, we don't like it, but we've got to go get the stops to go make that happen, and we didn't. But I'll give credit to Chicago. They outperformed us tonight, and that stings. But that's the facts.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
So winnable.
That was your head coach, Dan Quinn. Your final score here at Northwest Stadium, 25-24. Now, we got to go to break. But when we come back, we will be hearing from the legend, Logan Paulson. This is Command Center Postgame Live, brought to you by Nissan.
Driving the Nissan Kicks with intelligent all-wheel drive is like the best seat in the house. See why it's been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy 4 years in a row. Drive the reimagined Nissan Kicks today. Now get up to $1,500 total bonus cash on the 2025 Nissan Kicks, starting at just $21,830.
The best offense is a great defense. Get 100% verified tickets only from Ticketmaster. Seats available all season long, even last minute. Take it to the house every time. Ticketmaster, official marketplace of the NFL.
There are a lot of myths out there about how the Maryland lottery works. Playing the lottery responsibly means knowing what's true and what's not. The facts are, all games have similar odds. You should never try to recover losses by taking more risks. And you shouldn't play the lottery when you're feeling stressed. But the biggest fact is, you should always play responsibly. Learn more facts and myths at mdlottery.com, and please play responsibly.
Everyone say that I am too young to do my own thing, but I know they're wrong. You see, Mama not worried and Papa never did. I'm just a little bitty girl like a whole lot of kids doing my own thing. Check me out, fella. Tell me what you think.
What would you like the power to do? Bank of America.
At Northwest Stadium, we raise hail together, cheer together, and trust in our team together. Northwest is proud to support the Commanders. And as your hometown credit union, your goals are our #1 priority. We're your friends, neighbors, and fellow fans. And your financial success is our passion. Become a member today and let us help you build your next dynasty. Northwest Federal Credit Union, where trust matters.
You're watching Command Center Postgame Live from Northwest Stadium.
Welcome into Command Center Postgame Live, presented by Nissan. Now it's time for your postgame delivery presented by Paisanos. Now, since your Commanders won today, make sure you visit your local Paisanos tomorrow, where you'll receive 40% off all menu items. And somebody that always delivers, he was on the sideline, and he wasn't cold at all, the legend Logan Paulson. LP, we talked about this game. It didn't go the way we thought we would. Let's get a quick take from you before we hear from Jayden Daniels at his presser.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think this game comes down to like the most simple kind of day one football stuff is turnovers, right? You got to protect the football. That's the first and foremost thing. Day one, learning high and tight, all that stuff, and we just didn't do a good enough job of it today, right? And unfortunately, that's what happens.
Your quarterback, Jayden
the
Daniels, right now.
Turnover at the end there, was that what took place?
I just lost the ball. Completely my fault. Didn't give Bill a chance, so it was my fault.
Feeling now after losing a game that way with the turnovers? Obviously, you guys know you can't do that.
You win and lose. Obviously, as a competitor, you hate losing. But we got a short week, so you dwell on this forever, however long, and we on to Dallas.
Jayden, on the interception, what happened there?
Being aggressive, just go through my keys. But like I said, I didn't play how I hold myself to and how I should play, so I'll be better.
In your past, on the few occasions where you have had performances that aren't up to your standard, what's the week like for you going forward in terms of looking at those things and addressing?
It's just trusting myself, and I wouldn't even say trust myself. It's just trusting the plays and the keys, going through my keys, and being smart with the football. And there's time and a place for everything to be aggressive. And early on, we're driving, got momentum, we got points on the board. Don't make a throw like that, even though I know I can make a throw like that. So you just look back at it and you learn from it. I mean, that's kind of what this game is. If you win or you lose, you always learning from stuff, and you can always be better. I mean, you're not a perfect player because there's no perfect player on this field or in this league.
On the exchange, was it the ball slick? Did that impact that play at all?
I'm not going to sit up here and blame it on the elements. I mean, at the end of the day, I got to focus. I get paid to go out there and focus playing to play out, and I had a lack of focus right there, and it cost us the game.
What other areas were tonight when you look back in your game just off the, I know it's right afterwards, but that you said you didn't hold yourself to your standard. Were there other plays besides those two that you kind of wish you had back, or were those the ones that stood out?
I mean, you're not going to win many football games in this league if you're losing the turnover margin. So shout out to the Bears and shout out to their defense. They did their job. They got the ball back for the offense to get extra possessions. And you're not going to win games like that.
Jayden, there's been a theme this season where the offense has gotten off to slow starts. What do you think has been, if there has been a consistent theme, why do you think that's been a problem throughout the year?
We just got to execute better. And when the play call comes in, we got to execute, and starts with me, starts with all 11 that's on the field at the time. We got to execute better.
The Bears defense show you anything that you weren't expecting?
No, they just turned the ball over, and you don't win football. They took the ball away, I should say, and you don't win football games like that. So you go out there, and everything that I anticipated on film, they showed, and they just took the ball away more than we did.
How did you feel the offensive line played today?
I feel like they played well. They gave me time to go out there and make throws, and receivers made plays. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, I had a lack of focus that cost us a game.
Last year, it felt like every time you guys turned, a corner needed a play, you found it, you made the play. Does it feel odd that this year it just hasn't quite been like that?
Nah. I mean, it's football. At the end of the day, you're going to win some games, you're going to lose some games. You don't want to always bank on the time where it's a close game, and what some people might say is luck. So you want to go out there and play clean football, play as clean as possible, and we did not do that tonight. Yep.
That was your quarterback, Jayden Daniels, at the podium. Your final score, 25-24. A rough game for us. We showed up, but the Bears just did a little more statistically. Now, our Paisanos delivery got a little interrupted. So, Logan, we're going to give you a chance to finish your thoughts, sir. What are your thoughts about this loss? You were right on that sideline doing the radio calls. What did you see out there from your vantage point?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you kind of step back and look at it, you're not going to be like, oh, the receivers played bad or the offensive line played bad. I think, you're kind of saying we got to protect the football. Yeah. I think you might say if you're being really, really self-critical as an offense, you say, what was our plan for all out? Probably weren't expecting a lot all out from the Bears. They brought it on third down quite a bit. So what's our plan for that moving forward? And then, again, when we're getting some of these light boxes, how do we help or some of these heavy boxes and they're playing man on the perimeter, how do we help our guys win in man-to-man coverage? But I don't think anybody played poorly. It's just like this is one of those games, like Tanner kept saying in the break, where it's a winnable football game, and we let the opportunity slip away because we didn't take care of the football.
Yeah. We gave them the right to bring pressure. We gave them a 3rd and 7 and longer a lot of times. And when you do that in a football game, they're coming.
Yeah.
And it makes you speed up everything you have to do. But Jayden's right. And you're right, too. Nobody played horrible.
Yeah.
We just made the most mistakes at the most inopportune times.
Yeah.
We got the ball in our hands. We go down. We don't have to score. We could just run all the time off the clock. We give it back to them. And normally when you make those mistakes late like that, you know it's going to come back to bite you.
I mean, you could feel it, right, when you're watching the game. The second that ball is on the ground, you're like, we just gave him an opportunity to win this football game. And that's exactly what we can't do in that situation. Yeah. And any football player, anybody who's played the game, you know that feeling of seeing the ball in the dirt, and you're like, man, we had it. We had it totally. I mean, even if you take that tackle for a loss there, it's 4th and 2. You punt the football down. They got to drive 90 to kick a field goal. Like, at least you give yourself an opportunity. So,
what are some of the things you saw offensively, man? When I saw a few times where you heard the fans almost saying, run it. They wanted to put a sign up and just say, run the ball.
Yeah.
And we ran it once or twice, and then we got away from it, knowing that, look, 6 minutes left on the clock. We need to run this clock. What were some of the things you saw that they did defensively that stopped us from doing so?
So I think what you saw, I mean, you just saw a much more aggressive Bears defense. Like, they were very simplistic in the weeks leading up to this, kind of 4 down, cover 2, like basic structures, a little bit of man coverage. And tonight they're 8-man boxes, single high. We're playing man. And so when you get those box structures, those 8 guys in the box, all those run defenders, you have to throw the football because you're basically running yourself into a brick wall. So I understand that with 6 minutes left, 10, it's about possessing the football, not about running the clock out necessarily. You got to get first downs. And so in that opportunity, I don't have a problem with them throwing the football because of what the defense was giving them. So, again, they made it a tough day running the football. They took their bye week. They evaluated. They changed some stuff and came out and played a good football game. But I think the more frustrating thing is all the good stuff they did could have been totally negated if we just hung out of the ball.
There you go. And that's truly as simple as it is. And there's not a lot of reasons to smile after a game like this, right? But watching Jayden Daniels, and I hear him take full responsibility. That fumble's on me. I'm not blaming the weather. I'm not blaming anybody. I got to get back to the drawing board. Seeing your quarterback do that in year 2, after a game like this with all eyes on him, there's a lot of pressure on the young man, right? But he comes in, and he's extremely poised. Logan, that has to give you optimism heading into the rest of the season, especially a game like the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, there's a million things that give me optimism. He threw 3 touchdowns. Moore caught a touchdown.
Yeah.
Luke McCaffrey had an explosive play. Zach Ertz did Zach Ertz thing. The offensive line, man, they've just gotten better and better every single week. And then Jayden Daniels with the leadership. That's the thing. That's the frustrating thing about the game is there are a million things you look at individually. You say, man, this was so good, man. Look at this effort. Look at this finish. Look at this block. Look at whatever. But, again, it's all that accountability. Hopefully it plays dividends down the road, I think is what you're looking at there is saying, hey, we can kind of overcome some of these mistakes. We can galvanize as a team. We can learn from these missed opportunities and mature as a football team, and hopefully that's what happens.
But his teammates love him for that.
Yeah.
When a quarterback does that, players love him for that. But the ultimate thing is he's not just saying it. He believes it.
Well, since day one, right?
Yes,
He's been that way,
he
right?
believes it. I think the ultimate thing is he knows when you go out there on the football field and if you're going to have the ball in your hands, you can't give the ball to the other team.
Yeah.
And I think, his team looks at that. But when they move forward, things will be corrected.
Yeah.
They played – they didn't play their absolute best. They turned the ball over, but they still had an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you got to just close it out when you have it.
And I think the other thing, too, is you're talking about comparing Caleb Williams to Jayden Daniels. Think about how many times Caleb Williams with the bad body language, kind of pouting on the sideline.
Yeah.
I think you got to respect the guy who gets up in front of the cameras and said, it's me, I take this, I own this.
Yep, exactly.
And I know that's what you're alluding to there, B, but, it takes a special person to do that. But I think that the thing, I take it for granted, having covered him for a year, is because he's done it at every single opportunity.
Yeah.
So, he's not going to be different. He's not going to change, and I respect that about him probably the most.
And I think that's why we got to bring it up, right? Because it's easy for us to get used to that. But we also know it could be very, very different. We've seen it be very, very different. Now, Logan, you mentioned some of those good things, some of those plays. Let's get right into it. It is time for your fast play of the game, brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. And this one right here, fellas, was Chris Moore's 22-yard touchdown catch from Jayden Daniels, capped an 8-play, 65-yard drive. Look at Chris Moore find his way into end zone. Fellas, we talk about the way Jayden just finds everybody. He's going to look. If you're open, he is going to find you. This is one of those plays right there, Logan.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity, right, to see a guy who's struggled catching the ball in the preseason and show Jayden's unwaying faith in him, right?
Yeah.
This is a man-to-man situation, slot fade versus their best defender, and he makes this throw. And, again, great contorting catch, great ball placement. This is why it's so fun to watch this football team, is because next man up is always available.
Yes, a great play, a great way to stay into this game. Now, we got to go to break. The final thoughts from the guys and looking at the road ahead. This is Command Center Postgame Live, brought to you by Nissan. We'll be right back.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Come to West Virginia and open the door to more this fall. More color. More connection.
Life is older than
More freedom to explore.
younger than the mountains.
Less doing. More being.
Take me home.
Find your almost heaven at WVTourism.com.
Commanders fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Commanders MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win game tickets, access to exclusive team events and experiences, along with 15% off Commanders gear at the online pro shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Commanders MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Commanders to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
You're watching Command Center Postgame Live, presented by Nissan. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com.
Welcome back into Command Center Postgame Live, presented by Nissan. Now it's time to take a look at the road ahead, brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And fellas, let's take a look at these next three matchups for the Washington Commanders. We have another set of back-to-back road games. First, we are in Dallas taking on the Cowboys. Then we head to Kansas City for some more Monday Night Football action against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Then November 2nd, fellas, that's the next time we will be at the crib. It'll be Sunday Night Football, more primetime action, and we'll be taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Fellas, let me get your final thoughts as we head to another set of back-to-back road games. Logan, I'm going to start with you.
I mean, it would have been nice to get the one today, but again, these are all winnable games. Right? I think you look at the Giants or the Cowboys, kind of one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Get right opportunity. Again, Dak Prescott's dealing at the moment.
He's doing it.
You know, Patrick Mahomes is kind of figuring it out too. So these are going to be big challenges. But if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I think if we're going to shy away from the reputation that we wanted this team to have early in the season, this is the stretch we got to show and kind of put our best foot forward.
I mean, I think we earned these primetime games. I think we earned this schedule, and we have to show up when the time. Granted, I think tonight was one of those given times where we can really show the world that, we are who we said we were. And, we didn't finish.
I believe what we have to realize is that we have to go out there and take care of us.
Yeah.
Okay? We can't worry about who we're playing against. If we're not playing our best, then we can't beat them. So we got to find a way to make sure we can consistently be our best. Correct the mistakes we had tonight and improve upon that. Go out there and face Dallas, face the Chiefs, face the Seahawks, and not worry about them. Worry about you. If you take care of yours, you got a chance to beat anyone.
I think it's also important to remember we're going to hopefully get healthier, right? With Terry McLaurin Black, Noah Brown coming back, and that's going to be huge for this team, especially, given the explosive downfield element that we've kind of been lacking the last couple of weeks.
Totally.
A very long season, fellas, but we have no doubt our Commanders are going to make those adjustments and come back strong against Dallas, and we will be out there as well. We will be on the sideline for Command Center Game Day Live and Command Center Post Game Live. But until then, all week long, we have a ton of shows for you, so make sure you tune into the Commanders YouTube page or listen to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. For the legend Logan Paulson, for Mr. 8 to the 9 Santana Moss, for the Hall of Famer Brian Mitchell, putting that in the air now. I am your host, Brian Colbert Jr. Until next time, we out this thing.
Peace.
Peace.